just instinctual. I was like, this is not happening. No, you're not going to kill my friend.
Heidi Forcher was part of the pop-up event in front of Singer's store. She's also a former security guard.
And as soon as I saw him do that, I just tunnel vision and ran at him like just full speed and grabbed him by the hair, by the root, and slammed him to the ground and just beat the brakes off of him.
Forcher and a friend held the suspect down until police arrived, but it wasn't easy.
He said to me, I'm going to bite you. And I said, if you bite me, you're going to regret it. And he bit me, and I just kept grabbing his hair and smashing his face into the sidewalk. And he's just sitting there telling me, go to hell, B-word. And I said, I am.
You can't park here.
Today we have on a guest who I have known online for quite some time. She used to be known as 50-foot tall woman was her screen name. This is Heidi. I have some jewelry from her. She's really cool. She does a lot of spooky jewelry. If you're watching this, like, I love her hair, her makeup. She's so cute. I love it. She's my little Halloween queen. And she's also a certified badass. She was recently on the news for basically judo throwing this psychopath man to the ground. And she's going to tell us a little bit about that. And then I know you're wondering, okay, how does this tie into van life? She's going to get pretty deep, pretty real, and share a lot of really sensitive topics with us about her current living situation. So we are just pretty much going to listen today, and we'll be sharing some information on how you can support her if you're interested. So Heidi, with that being said, welcome on to The Knock.
Welcome
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it, ladies.
Heidi's my hero.
I got your back, Bunny, any day.
No, just wait till you hear this woman, you guys. Like, listen, if I have a total crush on Heidi, right? I'm just going to come out and say it. She put a man on the ground and held him there until authorities can arrive. Like, excuse me, but like, okay. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I might put some of that footage in here. You have to just see it for yourself.
I heard this guy before I saw him because I'm loud, but this man was louder apparently. And he's coming down Queen Anne Avenue screaming and yelling obscenities and just crazy stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, you're in your car, you're waiting for the light to turn. You're not expecting somebody to start opening your door or banging on your window or ripping off your windshield wipers. But that's what he was doing to random strangers waiting for their light. And he starts coming down towards us where we're having an artist market, and we're just barely getting set up to have a great day with a bunch of artists and, have a little community with the people of Queen Anne. And he comes over and he starts stalking the host of the event, a shorter woman, and telling her he wants to gouge her effing eyes out.
Before we continue, let's set the tone a little bit. So this is an art market on the corner of a street, like in front of a shop, right? So it's a shop owner that's hosting an art market. So there's vendors that make jewelry and what kind of shop was it?
She had very obscure, odd gifts and like spooky bags and things.
Okay. Like an oddity shop. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. She had all kinds of cool little gifts that you could get for people that are just a little off the beaten path, not your regular gift giving type of thing. And it was her Uncommon Arts Market that she hosts at Ozzy's, a restaurant a few blocks away from the shop she used to have. And then she started doing it at her store as well to bring more customers and just build community. And we were having a great time. I think there was about maybe 6 or 7 artists, including the store owner. And so we're getting set up, and this man just comes down the street screaming, yelling, and causing chaos. And as soon as she turns her back to him, he grabs her from the back and starts gouging at her eyes. I'm 6 feet tall, and this dude was bigger than me. He was like 6'5", not including the afro that was just everywhere. I don't know what happened. I blacked out and just grabbed him by the root of his hair and slammed him to the ground. And from the videos my friends have recorded, I apparently was momming the hell out of him. And I'm like, this is not what we do in society. This is not how we behave, mother.
I saw the footage. I saw the footage and like it wasn't as chaotic as it sounds. Like I'm sure in the moment it was, but when you watch back the footage, Heidi was so calm and just like grabbed him and just took him to the ground and held him there.
It's like your instincts kicked in and you were like, no, you need to be schooled, and we're schooling you now, little boy.
Yeah, my 9-year-old told me I had to send the news clips to his dad so his dad would stop messing with me.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very intense day. Apparently this man had attacked his girlfriend before coming down to start stuff with strangers, and he hit her over the head with a vodka bottle several times, tried to gouge her eyes out, tried to twist her neck, and in her opinion, rip her head off, tried to literally kill her. Unfortunately, she did die on September 13th possibly from the injuries. We're waiting from the coroner report, the autopsy to find out for sure. So his plea deals are off the table. He's in jail. They're pressing charges on him for assaulting my friend, the host of the art market, and for biting my hand. And I still have half of a bite mark on my hand forever.
Get all your shots.
Yeah,
rabid.
I did. I took like 2 weeks of antibiotics and got tested for all kinds of stuff. And so far I'm good. I just have a little scar and some nightmares from the situation. And I feel horrible for his girlfriend who passed away, and they have a child together. And, you know, it's just,
okay,
it's
hold up. Let me organize this timeline of events. Like, this is insane. So
it really is.
So this guy, before he came to your art market and was crashing out in public, he had attacked his girlfriend that day prior to going into public and wreaking havoc on the community. So he attacked her so brutally that she was in the hospital for quite some time, and they're now trying to investigate if she succumbed to her injuries from that day.
Yes.
So she did pass away, and now they're trying to basically prove that it was because of him. So after he attacks her and subsequently killed her, he goes into public and starts attacking vehicles, attacking people in the street. I've seen the footage.
Where is he now?
He's in jail.
He's in King County Jail.
For how long?
He's been there since Father's Day. He hasn't gotten out. He has a $200,000 bail. He can't make bail. He lost his job. He turns out to be a really good tattoo artist in Washington State.
Not anymore.
He was a tattoo artist?
Yeah. And I knew this fool was a tattoo artist and had money immediately, because I have friends that are artists, tattoo artists, all flavors of art. And
so when is the trial?
What was that?
When is the trial? There has to be a trial. And the girlfriend, who's dead now, can't even, I'm sorry, I'm triggered right now.
It's up to the coroner.
Reasonable.
I hope that the coroner can prove that she succumbed to those injuries. I mean, that has to be the outcome. But then again, nowadays, nothing surprises me with what gets thrown out in court.
So are you going to testify at whatever trial happens here?
100%. If they need me to testify, I will testify. If they don't want me to testify, I'm going to be in that courtroom regardless. And I will speak to the judge about anything and everything that needs to be talked about. Because
what's his name? Let's blast his face and his name.
His name is Jibri.
Jibri.
Yep, that's his name. He is 28 years old. His girlfriend was named Sunshine, and she'll be forever 24. Yeah.
And what's happened to the child? Is the child in foster care, or is their family?
One of the grandmothers has custody of the child.
Okay.
And has had custody of the child for a very long time. According to one of the grandmothers, he never sees her.
Okay.
Never sees his daughter.
He better not. He better
So
not.
this was already kind of a tumultuous, very chaotic family dynamic. I don't know if you guys can see right now, but Bunny's pretty emotional. And because I already know
I had
both,
no idea that was the whole thing. I didn't know about any of that.
because I know Bunny and Heidi's stories, they're actually very similar. There's a lot of crossover here. I don't know if Bunny's going to share her story today, but Bunny and Heidi definitely have a lot of similar stuff going on.
I really want to focus on Heidi's story here. I just this caught me off guard, to be honest. I wasn't aware of all this. I'm enraged.
I am too. It's infuriating because, you know, I'm a domestic violence survivor, and I think that's part of what my blacking out and beating his ass was about.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like, honestly.
There was a
brain
trauma response.
Was doing what it needed to do to diffuse the situation.
If the girlfriend wouldn't have died during this legal situation, he was going to get a plea deal for publicly attacking people.
Disgusting.
And here's the twister, Kyla and Bunny. The before the girlfriend passed away, you know, being from domestic violence myself and a really horrible growing up childhood and all that toxic great stuff. She had spoken to the judge saying that he needs to get out on his own recognizance to make money and support their child, and that she wasn't afraid of him, is what she said to a judge. And I know that is, you know, something that a lot of domestic violence victims do, where they're just too afraid to speak out. They're too afraid to say, help me. And, you know, I feel absolutely awful because when she said that, and I read it in one of the news stories, I immediately knew he was going to kill her somehow, some way. I didn't expect her to succumb to the injuries because I didn't fully know how bad they were, you know, until recently. And that's one of the things that's haunting me. I mean, it makes it hard for me to sleep at night. She should be here. She should be here, and he should be forever in prison or where she is now.
Does he already have a legal history?
He does.
He criminal history.
He does. He has domestic violence arrests from the past.
They always do. They always have warning red flags. And the judges are just like, oh, they'll be fine.
I yelled at the attorneys and the detective, and I said, if you took 20 minutes and became, you know, channeled your inner teenage girl, you could sleuth it out in 2 seconds. I went on his Facebook page and I scrolled through, and last August or so, around the same time last year, he was on house arrest for domestic violence, and he posted, hey, I'm at home on house arrest with an ankle monitor. Come get a tattoo, make it worth it. Like, what? You know? Yeah. I'm like, you guys don't see this?
Is this substance abuse or mental health or both? Because it seems like he was completely psychotic.
I would say it's both because, you know, when I was restraining him down, he would have bolts of just superhuman strength. So I don't know if whatever drugs he took was PCP or laced with it.
Yeah, the PCP type. They have like super strength, but they're like crazy is the only way to describe it. If you've ever seen someone crashing out on PCP or like angel dust, it's like, and also there's so much news out there that like is sketchy. Like if you ever watch footage from like the Tenderloin, like the new stuff that people are on is like, they're getting necrotic and they're still shooting up. Like their legs are falling off. Like that people are taking is like so concerning.
And they don't even feel it.
Well, and I'm not trying to make excuses for his behavior. Like it doesn't matter either way. Like even if it's mental health, like the system has failed all of us. And if it's drug use, the system has still failed all of us. But normally it's both in the same. And he could have had trauma from his childhood that made, you know, nature versus nurture, like fueled him to be this way.
I agree.
I've had trauma.
Yeah,
I've had trauma. My son's father tried to kill me. My dad was abusive to me. Yeah, that's right, Dad. I fucking said it, you asshole. you know, my head was bashed between the TV and the ottoman when I was a kid. I was abandoned. I was left with people who sexually abused me. I know you're gonna have to mute all of this. I'm so sorry, but like, bro, foster care was abuse in itself. Like, I can't even get into that. I'll go nuts.
I was in foster care too.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
not every foster parent is safe. We had one that would drug the younger foster kids and do sexual things to them, and they wouldn't do it to me because I was bigger and too older. And then they would starve the younger kids, and I would sneak around on the ledge of the house and bring them food and take their dishes and take care of their crazy grandma. You know, like, Bunny, you and I have a lot more in common than you think. Like, a ton. Like, it's parallel, it's mirrored, you know? And I think this dude is using the excuse that he took a mushroom gummy and had a psychotic reaction to it. That's what Jibri is trying to say.
No.
We took mushroom gummies and I had a psychotic reaction to it. No, you didn't. You're violent. You're evil. You're a mean person, and you just want to beat up women and
Even
control
if
them. That's what it
you know,
is.
not to incriminate myself, but if I were to have ever done shrooms and
They don't affect
not
you like that.
infrequently, even if you have a bad
they
trip,
make me full of joy and love. And I
But-
just love everyone.
I went through
You know?
hell as a child, and I decided to be good. I decided to be
Exactly.
kind and empathetic and only beat up when they need it. You know?
Exactly.
Like, when you're trying to kill somebody, like, to me, I agree, Bunny. There's no excuse for this. If you have mental health, go get your medication. Go get therapy. Take care of your business. If you're on drugs, get off of them. You know?
well,
There's so
I
many
think
things
that
you could do
this
to be
is,
better.
but now this goes into how the system has failed all of us, because it's not easy or accessible to obtain medical care, especially for mental health. A lot of addiction and treatment in America is basically capitalistic, and people do what's considered, they call it body brokers. So they will give people money to go into treatment, and then they get back out, and then they come in, and the treatment facilities get insurance or government money. And it's all, I mean, it is really, if you have to have enough awareness, and B, you have to really want it to get better or get help for yourself, because in this society, everything is so incredibly difficult to obtain. And I'm not making excuses for these people, regardless of mental health or not. They have to be held accountable, and they most certainly should not be out in the general population anymore. They're a danger to themselves and society. But,
Yeah.
you know, I was just recently watching the Monster Ed Gein on Netflix, that the guy that does American Horror Story, he does all of those. He did the Dahmer show. And then I watched a docu-series about Ed Gein. And what you will learn is that this person had severe trauma, religious trauma, mental and emotional trauma, and severe isolation at the hands of their mother. They were not socially and mentally developed properly. They weren't socialized as a child. And regardless of, you know, I don't know if he was ever diagnosed, but they said he kind of like was a little slow and weird. So regardless of if he was on the spectrum or not, and that was never handled, especially back in those times, coupled with the fact that he was isolated. I mean, once again, it's nature versus nurture. And for him to do the things he did, they were so disturbing. And I don't think that he fully was aware of like, hey, this is wrong necessarily. And you know, all of his family died, and he was left alone at that farmhouse to just do all of that. You know, he's the guy that made lampshades out of people. Like, let's just,
Yeah,
if you're not aware. So
I saw somebody found one of his pieces at a thrift store and was like, oh my God. Yeah.
it, disturbingly enough, all of his little things he made are really high coveted items in the serial killer cult following world. Which I'm all
those
for
people love those
oddities.
things.
I'm all for oddities and spooky stuff, but like if it's like actual people that like were tortured and this like that's dark-sided. I don't want that.
One of my old bosses and good friends used to be a nurse at Charlie Manson's hospital, or at his prison. She worked in the nurse medic ward, and he was pretending to need medical assistance at one time. And they ran to go get him out of his cell. and they forgot the straps to strap him down, and all they had was duct tape. Seriously, and they duct taped over his eyebrows. And when they got him into the nurse's ward or medical ward, whatever it's called, and sedated him, and he finally calmed down, they had to rip it off, and they had duct tape Manson eyebrows.
Oh God. Ew.
I know. Sorry, it just popped in my head with you
I
saying
would
all
have
this
loved to
Epstein
have been
stuff.
that nurse.
Let's switch into something lighthearted for a minute. I know this is really heavy. Explain to us like how you got into jewelry, full on promote your jewelry business. Explain to us like you've recently, I'm so proud of you. You have been doing so many art markets, like you really have your own business going. I'm just so excited because I've known you for a couple years now. So I've seen you really flourish with your jewelry and doing all these markets.
I don't have an Etsy yet, but I do have Instagram.
Okay.
And anybody who feels like messaging me and wants to buy a pair of earrings or maybe my spooky art, whatever thing you can creatively think of, if I can legally have it and make it for you, let's do it. You know?
So we will link the Instagram account below, but just say it out loud so that people know it who are listening.
Spooky Amaryllis, or you can type in Heidi Forcher and it will pop up either way. And I have been an artsy, creative theater kid my entire life. So if it's different, unique, creative, crafty, whatever you want to slap that title on, I'm into it. So, you know, and then growing up
just not with human skin.
Yeah. And then, you know, growing up in a toxic household and having not the most awesome childhood, I would just zone out, listen to loud music and make jewelry and art and paint and all this stuff. And I've always loved the alternative goth community. And, you know, and I just love it so much. So I just like figured out, how do I do this? How do I get into this? What can I legally have and make? Because, you know, Fish and Game, they want to tell you you can't do certain things, and that's fine. And they have their reasons and I understand it. So, you know, I just started making like raccoon jaw earrings. I love uranium glass. It glows in a black light. It's just really, it's like, it's a mood, it's a vibe. And so I have a whole collection of, from when I had a house, of all these different glowing antique glass and things like that, and going thrifting and finding all these pieces. And if it's broken, or say my 9-year-old accidentally breaks something, it becomes jewelry, it becomes art, because, you know, like in Asian cultures, they don't just throw it away. They glue it back together and slap some gold leaf on it. And it's beautiful. And I love it. That's kind of my inspiration, is to like give things a new life and make things that are unique and different. Because like,
things
I don't
that
know
are
how
broken
it was.
and turn them into value. Yes.
Exactly. Like, I'm broken, but I'm not
They tried to
devalued.
deem us that way, right? They tried to deem us as broken, and that we have so much more value now just because we can help others through the situations that we've been through. It's so symbolic of who you are as a person. It's not just the art that you create, it's what you're creating in your life. And that is beautiful.
I agree. Thank you, Bunny. You know, like, you can take something that somebody might think is morbid or macabre and make it beautiful. Just because they think that, like, you, me, or Kyla, maybe we have some damage from our toxic lives that we're not valued. We're valued. We're more valued because we see the world how it really is. And we still choose to be good and kind, empathetic, and help other people. And that's the kind of thing that keeps me going. Besides my beautiful child who needs me, and I love him more than anything on this earth, you know. I embarrass him all the time, and I'm like, hey, Aunt, I love you more than chocolate. I love you more than coffee. Oh, really? I love you more than Gothic art and uranium glass. What? Yes, kid, that much.
Aww.
You know what I mean? Like, you know,
you're giving him the childhood that you didn't have, and that's what people should be doing, taking that. Like, I know that, like, I just can never have kids, like, mentally, emotionally, like, I'm just removing myself from this cycle with my family, but I love seeing people that have children, and even though their childhood wasn't what it should have been, they're breaking the cycle.
Yes.
I'm doing everything I can to break the cycle and be the protective, loving adult that I didn't get.
And it's not an easy job. It's really not. Can we give Heidi like a lot more credit than she could even fathom right now, everyone who's listening and viewing? Because not only is she juggling this, but she's juggling the past trauma. She's juggling being a single mom right now of a son with special needs. And she is struggling trying to survive in an economy right now that is not supportive of a single mother, of anyone, even though she's working and doing everything legally that she can and following all the rules and applying for all the help that everyone says exists, but really doesn't.
My son he'll be 10 in February. He is a giant. He's almost 5 feet tall. 99th percentile since birth. He's huge, just like me. Yeah, he's a big one. He has neurogenic bowels, neurogenic bladder. He has to take medication for bladder spasms. He has ADHD and a little splash of autism. He's high functioning autism, very, very smart. He's me in a boy body. And, he's got some more medical problems than I do, but, I've been taking care of him even when I was with his dad by myself, and it's wild to me that his dad wants to be like, you don't tell me about the medical problems. You don't let me be involved. And I'm like, you had, almost 10 years to get a MyChart app, and you could talk to the doctors yourself and verify if I am the puppet master you say I am.
Obviously, you can say as much or as little as you want, but just for people listening, what is the backstory with you and your ex, and what was the situation like living with him, and what ultimately caused you to leave?
Well, we were together for about almost 8 years, and we had a child, and he was just abusive the entire time. Very heartless, very cruel. He was working. My back went out, so I was at home on L&I, taking care of my back, trying to figure that out, and then got pregnant. So, that was a high-risk pregnancy because at the time I was 35 when I got pregnant, 36 when I had my kid. Then 6 months into it, I'm throwing up every single day. I can't work. I'm literally lost like 70 pounds in 6 months, in and out of the hospital, in and out of the infusion center, all this stuff to get our child to be here alive on earth, And he's screaming, yelling, punching holes in the walls, stealing my car, cheating on me, comes home from work, holds the baby for a few minutes, and then argues with me for hours and leaves and, chases me into the bathroom with the baby. We're locked in there sleeping on the floor because he's screaming, yelling, breaking stuff, and just being a tyrant. And I tell him, hey, that this is what I want. This is what I think. This is how I feel. This is what we could do to make our relationship better. All these things, right? We go to counseling, go to therapy. He says the therapist is taking my side. And well, if you know anything about therapy, that's not how that works. So anyway, no accountability for him, just constant abuse, lies and cheating and drama and chaos all the time. And so I said, if I have everything in this house packed up, by the time I have all my things packed up, you have until that time to get your anger under control and stop being abusive to me and fix your shit, basically. And he didn't believe me. He's like, you don't have a job, you don't have money, you don't have anywhere to go, you don't have a car. I took your car and you can't prove that it's your car, and I'm not going to give it back to you because I didn't have my license at the time. So he's like, oh, I'll keep your car under my name. We'll get you your license. And I'm extremely pregnant, emotional, throwing up. It was the worst pregnancy you could ever think of, and trying to learn how to drive with an abusive man screaming at me. So, of course, I have panic attack disorder and depression, and I obviously start freaking the out and can't drive safely while this man is screaming, yelling, and just making life chaotic. So all of those things were the last straw. Like he always had his phone on lock. He would never let me touch his phone. He left it unlocked on the table one time. I saw a message pop up from a girl named who he's with still today. On some dating app. And so that right there was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I was like, cool, I mean nothing to you. Our child means nothing to you. We both almost died, to have this. Me and my baby almost died, to be
safe.
Yeah.
I'm
And
sure
it's just, yeah. So I just started packing every single thing up in that house. And my biological sister and I, we were talking at the time. So her and her son came over and grabbed me, my son, and all of our stuff. And we were out of there in an hour, about a week before he expected us to leave. And I dipped out and left. I had to.
You had to. Yep.
So how did you get from that point to where you're at now, where you're essentially living out of your vehicle?
Well, I had lived in an apartment in Ballard for a while. Things got too expensive right before the pandemic hit. So I took all the money I could find, sold everything I could sell, borrowed money from friends, and fought him in court to leave the state with our son, and got a protective order and all of that fun stuff. He violated the protective order multiple times. One of the judges said, Mr. Alvarez, you are lying. There's obviously something more to it than this, because you keep violating this protective order. So I'm going to give Heidi a criminal no contact order, good in all 50 states. And so for 2 years, I had that. He violated the hell out of that. And no cop in Washington or Seattle or friggin' Oregon, Portland, Brookings, anywhere along the West Coast would do anything about it, because it's a Washington state family case. And they didn't really care about the criminal no contact order, because I don't know why. Maybe it's too much work for them. I'm not sure. Or that state's prosecutor didn't want to get involved. I don't really know. It's a bunch of, nonsense, in my opinion. It's a broken system. And so he got away with it. The protective orders, the criminal no contact expired, and he harasses me and abuses me in different ways now. I was a caregiver in Oregon for a while in Brookings. Then I got promoted and moved to Portland, and then the housing situation didn't work out there. So I came back up to Washington and was living with a friend that turned into a boyfriend. I had dated him before, like 15-ish years ago, and I thought he was a nice person. But when you see someone intermittently, their best behavior is like on point. So the last boyfriend, which is not my kid's dad, he was psychotic. He was insane. And he was also a spoiled rich kid. His dad would just enable him to do whatever he felt like doing, get him out of jail, give him an attorney, buy him a new place to live. Like, I'm talking rich. Like, his dad owns his own plane. He's a semi-retired pilot,
He's a spoiled brat.
Yeah. And so I had stayed with him for a while, got my tax return, got some money saved up, and I put everything I had into an apartment. And it was a beautiful apartment, really wonderful. My kid and I loved it. We had enough room to move. It was great. It would have worked out perfect. And I was a caregiver, getting my CNA, paid training. It was awesome. But then the rich guy's son decided to start arguing with the neighbors, causing problems with them. One of the neighbors was a real deal criminal, slashed my tire of my car with a 5-inch hunting knife. The police came and they were like, we come here for break-ins in the car. They grab your purse and leave. We've never come here for this. This is a sign. Somebody is after you. You need to get the hell out of here. So he took the report and left. And then not long after the cop left, somebody in a vehicle just slowly drove past us once and then slowly twice. And I had told my son at the time, who was about 5, remember that book I got you? Not Everybody's Nice. He's like, yeah, mama. I go, that guy is not nice. I feel like something bad's going to happen. So run with ex-boyfriend number 2 and don't look back. Just run. Go to the office and run. So that's what they did. I grabbed everything, locked up the car, and ran before the guy potentially did something violent, because that was the vibe I was getting. And growing up in the city, having friends, die from pew pew and all these other things, I I can see a pattern recognition real quick.
Yes. Yes, we can feel it. We can see it. We already know the red flags before the red flags are obviously shown. Yes.
Yeah. So we had to stay with crazy ex-boyfriend number 2 again. He starts getting crazy, and whenever my kid is gone visiting his dad, that's when he gets real crazy and starts bashing his head into walls, punching holes in the wall, throwing furniture, screaming, yelling, just all kinds of psychoticness. And his dad bought a trailer a few doors down from him so that my son and I could have somewhere to stay, since his son ruined my finances, my credit, my job.
Wait, who is
took me almost
this?
a decade.
Baby daddy?
No, ex-boyfriend number 2.
The rich guy's
kid.
Yeah, okay. So the rich dude bought you a trailer. Okay.
Yeah, and then he didn't want to fix anything in the trailer. The plumbing broke beneath the ground. So for about 5 months, he left us in that trailer with no running water. And with the child...
So this isn't a travel trailer. It's like a double wide, like a permanent... Okay.
Yeah, like a mobile home.
Okay.
And so everything's falling apart in this like 1968 trailer. They had the original Florida windows that like pop out, and you know, it's just awful.
Old
Everything
school.
was, the roof was leaking, the plumbing wasn't working, the plumbing below the ground collapsed. Just everything that could break down.
Basically
in that thing
not a
was-
livable situation.
Exactly. So we would have to go to my friend's house, who I consider my brother. I've known him for like 24 years. We used to live in Florida together. That's where we met. And he came over here because he's disabled and his health went to crap. And he slept on my couch for like a year and a half until he got the housing that he has now. And that was years ago, like 15 years ago. But anyway, rich guy, the trailer falling apart. Rich guy doesn't care. Ex-boyfriend's crazy. Baby daddy's drama and chaos as well. So he told me I had to leave. I'm selling this trailer if you're not going
Selling it to who? It's a piece of
It took him a year. It took him a year to sell it, but he did sell it. I don't know how he scammed into buying it, but
It's useless. So, okay, so
Yeah.
where did you go after the trailer?
we put everything in storage and went to my friend, whom I consider a brother, and he allows us to sleep at his house sometimes. He allows us to cook there, shower there. And then he told me to get all my crap out of storage and put it in his place. And so we can come to his house and get our stuff, shower, do laundry, eat, whatever we got to do. And then mostly we sleep in the car, but it's getting cold, so he'll sneak us in the house when it's really cold.
Is this because of his like landlord or like leasing agreement type situation?
Yeah, the house that he lives in is for disabled people that can kind of live on their own.
Oh, I see.
so
So
they
it's like
don't-
a government
yeah.
situation. So
Yeah,
you
so they
can't
don't
really
have-
live there.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have staff that come here every now and then to like inspect the house, make sure things are fixed and working. and,
Right.
that kind of
So
thing.
the
And
irony
then-
is like he has
Yeah.
some type of government assistance or state assistance, and you're literally homeless with your disabled son, and both of you would get in trouble, and he could lose his assistance if he was using his assistance to assist you, because we live in a capitalistic, bureaucratic hellscape.
There you go. Exactly.
Exactly.
So now this brings me to the point everyone's going to ask, well, why don't you just get help if your son's disabled? If you don't make enough money, why don't you get on disability? Why don't you get government housing? So please feel free to answer that question for us, Heidi.
I have applied for disability since the day my child was born. I've been denied until he was about 7. And then for the last couple of years, we have received disability, and it's not enough to live on. It's less than $800 a month that I get for disability.
I don't think people realize Andrew worked
Yeah.
in health insurance for a little while in Florida, specifically with people that have SSI and SSDI, and he could see what people would get. It's like $800, maybe $1,000. Like I don't
Yeah.
know
And it's
who
crap,
you.
because if you try to make more money,
It gets taken away.
it gets taken away.
Exactly.
You lose it all together. So then up to a certain amount, which even the amount that you're allowed to make that supplements your disability income over, because
they
not
lower
enough
it.
to get you anywhere anyway. You can't put any savings. You're just basically paying off all the debts that you've been accruing, and then you can't get disability again. You have to reapply, and they're going to deny you.
It's really
Exactly.
it's really cyclical, and so it's always interesting to me, which we don't have to get political this episode, but everyone's saying that, you know, people on disability are lazy and they're living off the government. Living off of disability is very disheartening, and it's a trap. And I can tell you, these people are not living high on the hog. They're scraping by and they're terrified they're going to lose their benefits.
And they don't understand what disability is. I've worked my whole life and paid into disability like most people, and it is our money. It's entitled to us. It's not like a benefit that the government says, I guess I'll give it to you, like food stamps or something. And all of these things are hard to get, whether it's food stamps, disability, or any other type of assistance you could fill in the blank with. You have to meet requirements. You have to be broke as hell. You have to struggle. And I am on the struggle bus. I feel like I'm driving it, you know, like queen struggle, let's go. And I mean, I've literally had to fight my kids most of his whole life to get his benefits for him, and get replies back from the government. Well, your kid's not blind. I never said he was blind. Oh, he's not disabled enough. What makes him disabled enough? Like, sorry, his bladder and bowels aren't going to magically just be healed and start working again. Like, what? Like, spina bifida doesn't get better. It either stays the same, but typically it gets worse. Like, I have to watch him to make sure he doesn't get a tethered cord. Everyone with spina bifida at some point at least gets one tethered cord surgery in their life. And some of my friends who have kids that also have spina bifida have had multiple surgeries. One of the kids used to be able to walk around with braces and maybe a scooter when she got tired because her muscles are not as strong. You know,
now what I'm just not familiar with the term tethered cord, and I'm assuming it's something that like catches within the spinal cord, your nervous system.
Yes. Because like as you grow, your cord for your spine will grow with it. But if you have spina bifida, which literally means split spine in Latin, because somewhere along your back, it doesn't fuse. So there's an opening on my son's lower back where his spina bifida is. And, you know, it's never going to fuse. It's never going to be solid again, ever. The cord will get tethered around something in his body at some point, making it where he might fall down more or trip because it makes it hard for him to walk.
Excruciating pain.
Yes, absolute pain.
So
everything.
So your child has spina bifida, and the government is questioning whether or not your child is disabled enough to receive SSDI
benefits.
The government is basically I'm sorry, we're not going to get political, but everything is political. The government is basically a domestic violence criminal at this point. I'm sorry. I said what I said.
They're bullies.
Now, what are you going to do? What's going to happen now? What do we do from here? And this is the question that everyone has, because you're not the only one going through this. And me and my husband became unhoused, and luckily neither of us had health issues where we needed disability and we were able to work, but we made way too much money to qualify for any type of housing vouchers or assistance. Not to mention, if you apply for a housing voucher, there's 4 7-year-long wait lists. You're not getting it.
I've been on the wait list for Section 8, which is the Seattle Housing Authority, for about 2 years, 3 years now. And every single time I check in every month, hold my spot. And then with different resources or shelters or transitional living or anything else you could come up with that might be there, I call them every single day. And after I'm done talking with you, I'm going to be calling one of the family shelters to hold my place in line, that if they ever get a room available, I might get it. Maybe. I don't know. But, you know, I can't give up. I just get up every single day and I hang out at my brother's house and do what I need to do for me and my kid, and, call all these places, check in on every waiting list, and budget my food stamps, budget what little money I have, sell as much of my jewelry and art as possible. I do custom pieces for people, tame or spooky, whatever you want. If I have the stuff, I'll do it. I do anything and everything to take care of my kid. And because he's on disability, and that comes from my work history, I'm not allowed to work a regular job because he needs his benefits. It's a vicious cycle that is completely broken and needs to be burnt to the ground and restructured, like a lot of
Okay,
things.
so Heidi has a GoFundMe if you're listening. Heidi has a GoFundMe. Where can we find that GoFundMe? We're going to put it in the caption, but let's speak it out loud now. Go ahead.
I have it. It's on the GoFundMe website, and you can type in my name, Heidi Forcher, and it will pop up a picture of me without makeup, hugging my kid, and then all the other pictures are my kid, and my kid hugging my brother's dog.
I'm reading from the Instagram post about the GoFundMe. Urgent help needed for a safe home and reliable car for this mother and her son. There's a $25,000 goal. You can give through GoFundMe. There's a link right on her Instagram, which is Spooky Amaryllis. Spooky Amaryllis. Also, you can look up Heidi Forcher. Listen, I can't say this enough. If we say it more and more, hopefully people will remember the name, remember the handle, and go check you out. Looking at all this beautiful, beautiful jewelry. Are these like wind chimes out of jawbones?
Yes.
You guys have to see all this, like gorgeous, gorgeous work. I'm holding up my other phone to the camera right now. And oh God, absolutely gorgeous. As soon as we get off, I'm going to go make an order. This is
Thank you
all
so
my
much.
style.
And Halloween's right around the corner.
Crystals and bones and all kinds of awesome stuff. And remember, this isn't just art. This is her representing how she can transform pain and brokenness into something beautiful, something that's died, and turn it into life again. And this is what Heidi is doing with her son, with her own life, with the abuse that she's had to handle and navigate through, and then try to supersede on the other side, which she's doing the best she can. But, we can't all do this without each other's help sometimes. I had a lot of, after my son's father tried to kill me, I had a lot of people in the community reach out and offer their services to me. If it wasn't for that, I would not be the woman you see sitting in front of you right now. I would not have the confidence. I would not have the self-control. I would not have the skills that I needed to get through it. I learned so much from these people because I wasn't being charged. They weren't interested in making money off of me. I was given as many skills as I could with the time that they had to give me. I had a lot of help. And whether that's financial, whether it's emotional support, whether it's people just standing there, being by my side, holding my hand through things, every little bit of help that is offered, you got to take, and you deserve it and more.
Heidi wants to get her TikTok up to a certain number of followers so that she can live stream while she makes her art. And that would be a great way for her to market herself as well, because people love supporting crafters on TikTok. So if you're not able to financially contribute, just simply following her and getting her follower count up on TikTok and Instagram would be
free.
of value. It is a free way to help this person. Also, I know that so many people feel cringe or insecure about making GoFundMes now because the scammers and the people that are not forthcoming have ruined it for all of us. And it makes me really sad because multiple people now that I know that have made GoFundMes are like, I'm scared to, I don't want to, it's going to look bad. So, this is what's really frustrating about the beg talk or like online scammer generation is it has ruined mutual aid for people that genuinely need it and are so grateful and thankful for it. And it will actually change their life. So that's just something to consider. And that's one of the reasons why we have people on like this for long form discussions. So you can really hear their story, get a sense for who they are. And I hope that like their story has reached you in some way. I think that we're not going to be able to really make any type of change unless there's enough empathy in this world. Recently we've been talking about the executive order on homelessness and essentially criminalizing homeless people. So if you heard this story today and you are still pro criminalizing the homeless, I'm not sure how else we can help you to gain some empathy. The majority of people struggling are not criminals and do not have some type of moral flaw. The system is flawed.
Exactly. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. On Instagram, I'm just Spooky Amaryllis or Heidi Forcher, and on TikTok, because they've banned me so many times, I'm Spooky Amaryllis too. So I appreciate it.
And
I
we're
definitely
going to put all those in the caption for you. Please go follow her. Go check it out. Even if it's not up your alley, please just repost the post. It's free. It takes 5 seconds of your time. Really, this is how we can help each other, just by giving each other that moment of exposure.
I appreciate that. I tell my son all the time, I say, if you can help someone, do it, because you might be the only one that helps them. And I wish the world could be more like that, because if we all helped each other out, any chance that we have, it'd be a better place. We'd be less struggling. My kid and I have been homeless for a year, and I've struggled with trying to, should I do a GoFundMe? Should I not? Will his dad find out? Will his dad not find out? Well, his dad found out, and I just put my pride away and said, you know what? I need help. I've donated to people's GoFundMes before. I've cash apped people, I even fell for Rich the Hungry's trick one time.
No!
I did. I cash apped him like $20 one time around New Year's, like 3 years ago, because I didn't know he was a scammer at that time. I just felt really bad for him and Sailor, and was like, here you go. And then the truth comes out, and I'm like, wow, good times,
We got. We've all gotten got. We've all been there. But you can't let it. You can't let it harden you and create these resentments. There's always still good people out there that deserve it, and if you meant well, then what can you really do?
It came from my heart. I was trying to help another human being out, I wasn't thinking, he's a scammer, until later when the proof came out, and I was like, oh, well, at least it was just $20,
Yeah.
Like, if it's $20 from every single person that follows him, that's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, it adds up. It adds up. It certainly does.
Really does.
Spooky, yeah. I'm happy that you have a vehicle right now. I think that is bringing it back to the van life niche that we're in here. I think that having a vehicle is what is keeping you safe. It's keeping you transported. It's keeping you having a vehicle to bring your son to all these appointments I'm sure that you have with doctors. It's allowing you to get access to these shelters. It allows you to keep your phone in a safe place so that you can keep calling these places to access any resources if they're ever going to be available. It gives you an emergency safe place to be. I know Seattle is not the easiest place to do any kind of vehicle dwelling, but it sounds like you do have a community, a small one at that is there for emergency purposes, like showers or a place to chill, to get out of the weather. I would like to see you. What's the end goal? Like this 25,000, what would you like to see with that goal? What is a steady, consistent, safe existence look like for you and your son? And once we reach that $25,000 goal, which we will, okay, then what?
If it was just me, I would get a van like you and just go travel and sell art and live my life. But since it's my child and he has a bunch of medical issues and deserves a bit more stability, I would hope to at least get a studio apartment, and I'll divide it off with curtains if I have to, like anything, just some sort of safe, stable home would be ideal, at least until he's an adult. Then I'll get a van and go do what you all do,
So what if you got like a Class C or, something that you could tow that was something that you could pay like a lot rent for? Would that be something that's feasible for you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like if, I've been looking on like Facebook Marketplace and things, and I've seen a lot of vans and a lot of buses. Mm-hmm. And if I can get even like a school bus and turn that into a house, that would be fine with me.
Just make sure that if you're looking at renting a place in like an RV park or a trailer park or something, that they're going to accept that, because a lot of places they'll discriminate against buses and stuff. It has to be a certain age. It has to be a certain this or that.
It has to be RVIA.
Anyway.
It has to be RVIA certified.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say, Kyla. Yeah, it has to be certified into an RV as well.
A lot of the school bus people are boondocking, and they're just staying on BLM land and traveling around. If you're trying to have your son still stay in a school and be in a certain area, if you are going to look into any type of like RV situation, especially in the city where you're at, boondocking is probably going to be tricky. But lot rent, having the lot rent and then still having something you actually own outright that you can take and move around if you need to, obviously, would give you a little bit of stability in that regard.
It would give you an exit plan too.
Yeah.
I feel like someone like you who's had domestic abuse in the past, I don't know how far you are from the ex-boyfriends that were a little psycho. It always helps our peace of mind to have that exit plan, always have a vehicle that's in top shape. Yes. But if it's a home that you can exit stage left with, I would feel safer personally.
I agree.
Lot rent is a lot cheaper than paying for an apartment as well. This also means that you're going to have to upkeep a trailer if that's what you get, if it's something that you can tow, or if it's a van or a bus. There's maintenance there. All that. These are just things that like I want others to think about. Like, yes, you can solve the problem, but it doesn't, like, let's keep in mind the long run, like what really is the best possible solution for someone in your scenario.
Yeah.
So
and if finance
a trailer that they're not using, that they're tired of paying taxes on or whatever, it's just sitting in their lot. Like, here is a really wonderful person that deserves. She literally saved a woman's life and will have a hand in justice for Sunshine. This is someone you can help and go to sleep at night feeling good about helping. She is not, obviously, like, we have all the proof here. There's footage of it. I've just shared it on my Instagram story. Yes, I did that while we were sitting here. But the footage of the attack from this guy on her friend and how she held him down, that is on my story now. It'll go away by the time this comes out.
Everything I do is for my son, and if I can get him even just a studio apartment that's mildly reasonable considering everyone's expensive rent, then I'll do what I have to do to keep it.
Is co-housing an option for you? Can you do co-housing, or does that get weird because of...
If I can find the right roommate, that's safe around my kid, then I'd be totally open to it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't it be great if there was a listing of other single moms who were willing to cohabitate with other single moms? Wouldn't that be awesome? They could go in and like buy some property together, just like the van life thing. Like, if we could team up and find our own communities and help each other together.
I would love that, to have like a little tiny home village, or your vans park on the land or whatever it is, and we all just have a little community of safety. And that would be a dream.
These are solutions that we can make a reality. We just have to start talking about them and discovering ways to make them come to fruition.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being so transparent with your story, with everything that's going on with you. It's so important to share the realities of what van life looks like for everyone, not just the bougie, not just the ones in dire straits. This is the reality that many of us are facing I feel like there's a lot of people that can resonate with you. So many people are going through so much. So many people are going through so much. And everyone's story is unique, but they're all connected. They are all connected, you guys, just like we are with you. And on that note, how does it go?
Lock your doors.
Lock your doors.
Stay alert.
Always
Stay
lock your
alert.
doors.
And
Yeah.
always listen.
Always listen for the knock.